So the Carnival cruise is being called racist because of their new rules. Now, for those of you who don't know what the Carnival Cruise Line is, also known as the world's most popular cruise line, they operate a large fleet of ships and offer fun-filled, casual, and value-oriented vacation experiences at sea. Yes, I read that from their website.
Drink the coffee, it'll make you feel better.
And for those of you who are wondering, yes, this is the same cruise line that was recently featured on a documentary on Netflix where a bunch of toilets started flooding and ended up inspiring the name of this documentary, which is The Poop Cruise. You can go check that out for yourself on Netflix. It's actually pretty crazy. Let's get into this.
So people are calling Carnival Cruise Line racist. They've banned the clacking fans, boots on the ground. Apparently, they're no longer playing rap music, and they're not allowing people to bring their speakers on board. And the speaker part, I completely agree with because nobody wants to hear your music. But let's all take a guess why they're making these new rules.
Damn. I mean, this place is packed. I mean, every part, it looks like almost every part is filled with people and they look like they're having a good time. But those rules triggered a lot of people and eventually has led to people calling the cruise line racist. No rap music definitely was a straw that broke the camel's back.
Do you know how pissed I would be if I paid my good money and pulled up to the cruise ship and that's what I saw? Yeah, they're trying to prevent y'all from turning their cruise line into the sole plane of the waves. Yeah, a lot of y'all trifling ruined a good thing. Yeah, bringing your drugs and your liquor on board, fighting in the clubs. Because let's be 100% real. If that was your business, you'd want to make some changes too. Because me, as a person of color, when I see shit like that, I'm thinking to myself, maybe I should spend the extra money and go with Royal Caribbean or Norwegian. Yeah, because when I go on vacation, I'm not trying to get assaulted because Tyquisha had too much Hennessy.
All right. So first off, I want to say this. I don't know if all these rules are actually true. Social media has this talent of spouting off things that aren't true and people just running with it. And one thing I have seen that's true is the Bluetooth speaker thing, right? I've seen that validated and I've seen that a lot of people actually agree with that. As far as the dance, which she was talking about there, the group dance and the fans and the rap music, I have yet to see confirmation that that's actually facts. Is there a part of me, though, that can see why they may not want to play rap music? It depends, right? It depends on what type of rap music they played. And if you listen to rap, you know, right? You know, if it's a bunch of drill music that they're playing consistently, then you already know the type of spirit and environment that incites. Or if it's, more family friendly rap music, less curse words, more about turning up, so on and so forth, based on the people who go to Carnival Cruise, then I wouldn't see that as a big deal. Now, there are people who are here and just plain out canceling all their tickets to Carnival Cruise because they just think this whole thing is for sure racist, even though they've not validated those three other rules that I mentioned.
Carnival does not have to worry about me. They do not have to worry about me. We got the message loud and clear. We are not your demographic anymore. So, y'all, I was supposed to be going on a Carnival cruise. So, one of my friends is turning 30 and he's never been on a cruise. He doesn't have a passport, so do not suggest flying somewhere. So, he's never been on a cruise and he was like, it's my dirty 30. I want to be on a turned up ship. He'd be seeing all the videos of Carnival. He was like, I want to do that because I'm trying to be lit for my birthday, right?
Right.
Well, Carnival has decided they want to rebrand. They don't want to be known as the turn up cruise no more, the budget friendly cruise no more. They want to be, I don't know, I guess they want to be royal. Even though when people book Carnival, they know what they are booking. They know they are booking a turn up cruise, period. Everybody on there is looking to have a good time, party, and have fun. We know what type of people are on there.
So let's say this. Let's say they actually were trying to rebrand themselves. What's wrong with that? Honestly, guys, what's wrong with the rebrand? I mean, really, do you own Carnival Cruise? I mean, I just want to strictly talk business here. One thing people don't understand is it doesn't matter when investors are looking or business owners are looking at financial statements and they're viewing profit and loss statements. Most companies do not care about the things you care about. They care about the bottom line. Are we making money? or are we not? Are we making money or are we not? And if they decide to change something, they're not changing something, right? We're hypothetically speaking here. They're not changing it because they feel some type of way and they're racist and they're thinking, oh, too many black people are getting on this cruise. It's affecting the bottom line. It's affecting their pockets. Maybe they're tired of headlines like Carnival Cruise Brawl prompts Coast Guard response, Morning in America.
By now, you may have seen that viral video showing a wild scene on a Carnival cruise ship, an all-out brawl. If you haven't seen it, you're gonna.
All right, I don't want to see it because I already saw it. I don't want to watch that again because there's so much of it. There's so many fights that break out that I've seen, especially on TikTok. You can go search anywhere online, even YouTube. A part of me wondered, like, okay, they must really make a lot of money for them to really not care about those bras. How do you even manage that many people who are drunk, swinging on each other? One time I saw that they dropped the people off just randomly, just kicked them off, dropped them off somewhere just because that's how rowdy they were. Again, my main point is business owners largely are motivated by profit and loss. And that's how they make decisions majority of the time.
Everybody on there, it's just Carnival cruises are so much fun. Like everybody is just a vibe, right? And it's like anywhere there's going to be like alcohol, things might get a little rowdy. That just comes with the territory of people being drunk. It has nothing to do with like, you know, being black, being this, the music. But these people done banned the fans. They saying no more hip hop music. So child, that was the whole purpose of us going. So now we are not going back to the drawing board because no ma'am.
All right, so that's that. Let's check out a few of these comments, see what the people have to say. Obviously, people feel some type of way. Top comment here says, I'm glad they changed the rules. I don't listen to rap anyway, and y'all make us look so bad. I'm glad they did that. Means I can enjoy the cruise in peace. Somebody responded back and says, there's many other cruises you can go on without rap music. Somebody else here says, y'all have to learn how to act. Oh, shit. Oh, they're on them. I'm not going to lie. Y'all really made the value go down. I'm not mad at it. Somebody else here added, who is y'all? LOL. I was on those cruises at 11. The quality been low. And the commenter responded back to that guy who said, who's y'all? And they said, us black people. Then he goes on to say, I don't like how comfortable y'all are lumping in all black people together like that. The problem isn't black people. It's people that are classless and weren't raised right. Those come in all types of colors. Go to therapy. The internalized racism runs deep. And so this is interesting. It's interesting because you have black people who are actually having this conversation in the comment section down below. This chick says, no, those Carnival cruise videos were ridiculous. I understand why they rebranded. Here's somebody else that says, Carnival got tired of being the Section 8 of the sea. Yo, this is wild. I'll say this, man. I don't think that the demographic, and I mean black people attending the Carnival cruise, is going to change. If this is true, I don't think that's going to change at all. I do think the expectations of the people going to those trips will change. Right? If you're ready to turn up and get wild, and you know you're young and you're expecting to go into a club on the sea, then you're probably not going to go. Right? Like the chick we just listened to. You're going to say, nope, I don't want to go on that cruise. I've never been on a cruise. I've never been on a cruise. And I'll be honest with you, based on what I've seen and the bras so far, I don't think you ever catch me on a Carnival cruise in my life. Here's somebody else who says, yeah, Carnival weird for that. I don't care what people say. Another person who says, don't blame Carnival, blame the people that don't know how to act. There's been too many incidents that happened on that cruise line. I mean, I can think of one recently that I reported on. I didn't even focus on the cruise. I was just shocked at this woman right here. Do you guys remember this woman who was acting up and had to be lifted out like a mother, right? I was in complete shock here. She had to be lifted out because she refused to get up at the Carnival cruise and her son was crying. Just some craziness. I will say this. If I was younger, I would probably have enjoyed some of what I see on the Carnival cruise. I'm looking at this audience. I see a lot of young people. Again, that's my perception of Carnival cruise now. So what should that tell you? A lot of people don't know this, but brand is all about association. And if you associate, because this is what I associate Carnival cruise as, I'm like, man, young people, they're getting turned. If I was younger, I'd probably looked at this and thought I was missing out. Because guys, I promise you, I didn't know that cruises were ever this turned and young people would go on these cruises. When I thought of a cruise, I thought of old people who were retiring, specifically white people. And I thought of this, right? And I would look at this and think to myself, by the way, this is Royal Cruise instead. It was Royal Cruise. And I would look at this and think, there's no way this is what I would want to go through or experience ever.
I remember back in the day when you had to make a substantial amount of money in order to get onto a cruise or to bring a family of 5, 6, 7 onto a cruise. And I grew up cruising. My parents used to take us on a cruise every summer, if not every other summer. And that shit wasn't cheap. And now you're seeing all these fights because they've made it so easy for people to travel abroad or get on a cruise with these $99 price tags and $129 price tags, even $399 price tags. Come on now. These Carnival cruises, they used to be honestly very, very good. And now they're just, it's to shit. The Bahamas, Cozumel, even like Jamaica was a place that one would dream about going to, but now they make it so easy that people can go to it. With these prices, no wonder you're having all these fights. I'm sorry to say it this way, but someone has to say it. When you have low prices, you're gonna attract the bottom of the barrel. When you have the bottom of the barrel, you're gonna have conflict. And that's exactly why when I take my family and I out on vacations, I don't go for those 99, 129, 399 price points, because at that point people just don't care because it wasn't that much anyway. But let that vacation be 5K, 10K, 15K, and I promise you, you won't see a fight in sight because you have a lot to lose. But that's just my take on that.
All right. So obviously he pissed off a lot of people with that statement. There are really two ways you can look at this from. There is some truth in, let's say, if you're running a restaurant, for example, right? Quality is based on affordability a lot of the times. If you want to buy organic or want better quality food, then you're probably going to pay more for that food. And the same goes for every other experience, whether you're looking for a rent, a place to stay, whether you're looking for an Uber you want to take, right? The more expensive, the better quality experience. This is life. I get where he's coming from. At the end of the day, this responsibility is going to be on the Carnival Cruise Line to figure out. It's their responsibility to keep their customers safe, for them to properly define their ideal customer. People don't like to think about this, but people have an ideal customer. Even on my channel, I have an ideal subscriber. If you don't like coffee, you're not an ideal subscriber. Unfortunately, when people who don't run businesses have these conversations, it's all purely off emotion. Like, this is the same thing with the Lululemon story and situation where the guy said, hey, our clothing isn't for everybody. And all the BBL chicks got upset and the plus size chicks got upset and said, you're being discriminatory. No, he just said his product is not for anybody. When any business can't properly define their ideal customer or ideal audience or their ideal person who's supposed to be consuming the service or product that they provide, it is their fault. Right? If people are confused on what to expect, it is their fault at this point. Let's read a few of these comments. This lady says, and newsflash, as dark as you are and as yellow in your eyeballs are, the top of the barrel will still fear your black ASS and treat you like you're one of the very ones you're referring to on this video. Okay. This chick says, I love when the darkest of us all has something against Black Americans. He doesn't like Black women because that's all you see on these cruises, and the prices aren't that low. This is why I don't have children, because I fear Black men. Wow, that escalated very quickly. Again, I think it's all about expectations, and it's about someone's age, and about the type of experience they would like. For example, I remember when I was younger, when I first started like going to clubs and sneaking into clubs, there were times when I would look for the clubs that only played hip hop, not just like a place that played hip hop, like a place that was slightly ratchet. And I loved it, enjoyed it. And then eventually I said, you know what? Far too many fights started to break out at the house parties or the clubs around 2 a.m. You guys know they gets to a certain point when those fights start to break out in the streets or in the club or right outside the door because people are mad they never got in. And you stop going to those places for some people. They're like, you know what? I have more to lose. I can't just get caught up in some drama at some spot with really bad security and people who have nothing to lose and are ready to crash out. There are people who I can assume change their expectations when it comes to the cruises, right? They look at a cruise like this and think, I don't really want to listen to loud music. I want to be around a lot of noise. You just get to a certain age, you don't like noise. I'm approaching that age now. I don't like noise. I don't like a bunch of noise around me. I need quietness. Shh, 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 shh. There's enough noise in my life. Somebody else here says, okay, Carlton Banks. Here's another person who says, once people in the hood was able to go, it was doomed. Yo, this is a crazy comment. This person says, oh, brother. Another person here says, it's not really the price, it's the mentality of the customer these days. I still doubt that they're banning rap music. I've done a little bit of research and just haven't seen something that's like been solid. Hey guys, as always, I appreciate you for checking out yet another episode of the Coffee Pod. To my currently engaged or soon to be married men, if you need a prenup and would like a guide that shows you how to get a solid and legally binding prenuptial agreement, hit the link into the top of the comment section and access your guide at fathershaverights.com today.